So learning target 9 is taking learning target 8 to the next level. Learning target 8 was looking at Lewis dot diagrams, where we had the group number to represent the number of outer electrons. Here, what we're looking at in number 9 is saying, how can I use that information to figure out the element's reactivity? So it's thinking about, will the element gain or lose, and then what kind of ion will it become, right? And then which group is it going to react with, right? So if it needs this, what element could give it that, and so on. So we're thinking about how to fill in this table, and we're thinking about what do I need from the periodic table, and how do I know what the element is going to do. So we got a couple practice problems that we're going to look at here. You should have your periodic table there. I'm going to pull mine up so we can kind of work it together. But our first one here is argon. So here's our element of argon. We are starting with the group number. Remember, group number is just straight up on the periodic table. So argon is in group number 8. So that means it has 8 outer electrons. So when I go to draw those in, I start at the top and I work my way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? That's the Lewis dot diagram. That's what learning target 8 is all about. Here in learning target 9, we're taking it to the next level. So we want to know, what does the element need and what will happen to those electrons. So all elements are working to reach a full outer shell. And for most elements, that number is going to be 8. So this group here of noble gas is a set of elements that's already at that full outer shell state. These guys will not gain, not lose. They already have what they need. They're already full and what we say like happy at that 8 outer electrons. So all elements are trying to reach this status of either a full ring here, or they're trying to empty their ring out so the ring underneath becomes full. And so that's what we're going to be looking at with all these examples. So here we have B, boron. Here's boron, right here, group 3. So that means there are 3 outside electrons. So to draw those in, 1, 2, 3. So now I'm deciding, is this element going to gain or lose, right? What's going to be easier? Gain 5 to reach a full outer shell of 8? Or is it going to be easier to lose 3, get rid of all those, and this next ring will be full? Again, here's what we know about atoms. They like to do the least amount of work possible. So this boron would much rather get rid 3 electrons than try to work around and find 5 more. That's too much energy. So by losing 3 electrons, we know the number that carries for the ion is 3. And by losing 3 electrons, that means the positive particles take over. And remember, the hint on this is pimples, right? So if it's losing pimples, that's a positive feeling. If you're gaining pimples, that's a negative feeling. So we're kind of using that as a little hint. Beryllium is over here on the other side of the periodic table. Beryllium is part of group 2. That means there are 2 outer electrons. 1, 2. Again, will this guy gain or lose to get to that full outer shell? That's the reason these elements are doing their thing. So to gain, to get to 8, it would gain 6. Whoops. Or to lose, it's going to lose 2 to make this outer shell be complete. So again, we know atoms like to do the least amount of work possible. This is going to lose 2 of its electrons to make that next shell full. So it becomes beryllium. The number carries 2, and I just lost 2 pimples, so I'm feeling positive about it. Okay? Now that last question is, what does this guy want to react with then? That's the whole point of this. Elements share or gain or lose electrons to react and reach that full shell. So who is this beryllium going to be able to react with? Well, if it's losing 2, that means we're looking to bond with someone that needs to. So when we think about elements that would want to take in 2, that's this group 6 over here, right? They need 2 electrons to help them reach that full and stable 8. So you're kind of looking for combinations to get to that full 8. So again, when you're looking at your learning target, you're thinking overall about what do I need from the periodic table. So first thing we did was create the Lewis dots, right? Figure out number of outside or valence electrons, and then determine what it needed to reach that full shell. So why are elements gaining or losing? It's to get to that full shell, that magic number of 8. So you can kind of see over here, you've got some hints to help you. Make sure as you use them, you get them highlighted. And then down here, you're completing 2 entire ion completions. So you can start with your Lewis dot, and you can just write in, gain or lose here, what the charge becomes, and then look back at the periodic table and see what element could complete that full shell, right? If someone's losing, look for someone to gain. So look for that partner pair.